持ちだけど、あなたがこうして味方でいてくれると心強いよ。
Sachiko looked at me with sweet, innocent eyes. When I arrived at Kisaragi Academy, I got a much better look at the phenomenon. It was like a whirlpool with a red, dully shining hole in its center. Was this the entrance to the ever after? I closed my eyes, clasped the Book of Shadows tightly in both hands, and prayed. When I opened my eyes again and looked up into the sky, my body began to float. I was in control of the Book of Shadows. I was a legitimate practitioner of magic now. This moment felt almost like an awakening to endless new possibilities. And right next to me, flying by my side, was Sachiko.
Ayumi.
The momentary loss of focus dropped me out of my trance, and I immediately began falling. I gripped the book even tighter and concentrated harder than before, and sure enough, I began rising up toward the vortex once more.
Ayumi, 気をつけて。あなたが力を使えるのはその本のおかげ。絶対離しちゃダメ。わかった。
As I flew higher, I could see Magari sitting on the roof of the school.
ブックオブシャドウスを従えたようね。見直したわ、篠崎あゆみ。それにしても、如月学園の真上に涅槃へのエスカレーターがあるなんてね。ついでにもう一つ教えてやるとね、涅槃がこの世界に侵食してつながってしまったのは別にあなただけのせいじゃない。涅槃天神症がこの世に発生してしまった時点で、いいえ、もっと以前にブックオブシャドウズが生み出されてしまった時に、いつかこの時が来ることは決まっていた。
I looked into Magari's face. She was being completely sincere.
その本の元の所有者も篠崎義恵もみんなそれを食い止めようと、あるいは遅らせようと必死だったの。それが次世代へつなぐだけの運命であったのね。そうやって代々受け継いできたのよ。
そうだったの。
だから言ってみれば、あなたがいようといまいといずれこうなったわ。ただあなたの行為はあの狂信者集団ヤゴウラ教会の生き残りミストに涅槃のパワーを与えてしまった。その責任は取らなきゃいけないわ。責任。あなたには本物のブックオブシャドウズがある。天神症で分散していた涅槃の力はミストの持つ偽物に取り込まれてしまった。でもそれを取り戻してその本に封印すれば、あんなもの簡単に吹っ飛ばせるわ。そして涅槃のコアをも迎え入れられたなら、その本は完璧なものとなる。さあ反撃よ。食らわしてやりなさい。世界が終わる前に一発ぐらい本物の実力ってやつをね。私は見ているわ。
Magari grew smaller as I climbed higher and higher, and as I looked up, I could see the threshold looming even ever larger, poised as if to wrap itself around me.
怖い？死ぬの怖い？
怖いかな。
I smiled at her. And to my surprise, it was a genuine smile. Somehow or another, I was feeling very calm. Sachiko looked at me with wide eyes.
どうしたの？
She turned away briefly, then looked over at me once more. It almost seemed like in that brief moment she'd changed her expressions in much this way someone would change a suit.
怖いのはサチと涅槃のコアにいる人。気をつけて。
涅槃のコアにいる人？それはミストじゃなくて。
うん、別にいる。
I looked back up to find myself practically right on top of the hole in the sky that stood in front of the abnormally huge red moon. And with my convictions settled, I jumped in. The harsh flash, the nausea, and the wrenching tightness in my chest caused me to lose consciousness for a second. But then I awoke to find that heaven and earth had switched places. It looked as though I were falling headfirst into a massive storm with flashing lightning and roaring thunder. It almost seemed like I was previewing what the world would look like after its destruction. In the sky, there was an enormous face of a doll, and the walls around me were all made of flesh. I clenched the Book of Shadows with both hands as I slowly made my landing in this new version of the Nirvana. It was a mountain of rubble.
何これ？完全に壊れてる。あ！いったー。何よもう。
あゆみ、大丈夫？
平気だよ。これくらい。
I slowly, carefully found my footing and pulled myself back up to my feet. This was an entirely different heavenly host. It bore almost no resemblance whatsoever to any version of the school we'd traversed previously.
小学校がこんな姿に。みんなは。町田くん、中島さん、岸沼くん、クオン先生、愛子さん。
I called out to my friends, but received no answer. All I could hear was the rumbling and twisting of the air around me. There was no mistaking it. In the midst of the wreckage, pieces of clothing from Kishinuma, Mochida, Nakashima, Miss Kuon, and Aiko were clearly visible. And the unfortunate souls who were wearing this clothing were all buried under fallen beams and other debris, and surrounded by a veritable sea of blood. I knelt down and began sobbing uncontrollably. Sachiko stared at me as I continued to scream and cry.
あゆみ、 サチコ頑張ってみる。天神小学校の運命だったらちょっとなら戻せるかもしれない。
Sachiko produced a calavera necklace from her pocket. The skeletal figure on the chain made a slight, hollow, clinking sound as it was handled, very much as actual bone would. It looked handmade and seemed oddly warm, like a keepsake. I had this weird feeling that I'd seen this object somewhere before. Though she was looking down at the ground a bit, slightly guilty and slightly guarded. Sachiko giggled slightly.
これ幸子の宝物。
A big smile crept across her lips, and for a moment she looked every bit the part of an ordinary little girl. I was confused. Sachiko placed her hand on the Book of Shadows, and the book spoke,
同じ日を繰り返せ。
followed by Sachiko. Suddenly, I was in Yoshie Shinozaki's clinic. The very same clinic Nakashima and I had visited on that fateful day.
この人はヨシエさん。
I was viewing Sachiko's memory of an event from long ago. Yoshie was writing something in her journal.
アナグラムの解析を進めると、この本に書かれている術はすべて実体の伴わない理論でしかなかった。成功例に関する文献も全く存在しない。私はなんと愚かなことをしてしまったのだろう。最初から成功しないものに心血を注いでいたなんて。本の中身である涅槃が飛び出し、異空間を作ってしまうだけの失敗作の術。しかもそこに囚われた死者は生きていた証、存在の痕跡すらも消されてしまう。
Sachiko came into the room from the back. Her eyes met with Yoshie's, and she smiled.
だが飛び出した涅槃を抑え込むことができたため。
Sachiko stood obediently by her mother, wearing the white dress we'd seen on her in Heavenly Host. Yoshie patted her on the head approvingly. Sachiko then coughed out a fine black mist, but sucked it back into her mouth like a carp.
失われ黒く消えたあの人の存在だけは取り戻せたのだ。
The face on the image was blacked out, like those of Seiko and the others. However, to my surprise, the black marking was slowly peeling itself away, revealing the features underneath. My vision slowly cleared, and when it did, amidst all the rumbling and shaking, I found myself back in the Heavenly Host Elementary.
これは
Then promptly, Sachiko collapsed to the ground. Without thinking, I picked her up and held her limp, light body in my arms. She must have used up her spirit energy, as she was clearly drained. She was breathing, but only very lightly.
苦しそう。私、幸子に触れてる。
Sachiko was real. She had to have been, or I wouldn't have been able to hold on to her like this. She seemed injured, but not in any traditional manner. There were cracks running through her body, each one emanating an unearthly blue, almost gaseous light. Meanwhile, the school itself was also cracking and breaking all around me, making an incredible noise. The roof above began to crumble away, providing glimpses of the real world. And incredibly, the entity walls hadn't spawned there yet.
戻ってる。まだみんなが死ぬ前だ。幸子、しっかりして。
はい、ごめん。あんまり時間戻せなかった。
幸子、ありがとう。偉いね。頑張ったね。
I could hardly believe it. I just complimented Sachiko of all people on a job well done. Her newly formed physical body was rapidly beginning to evaporate into mist. My voice was trembling, though I suspect it was less with fear and more with confusion.
すごいわ。あなたはいい子よ。
She looked up into the sky, eyes beginning to well with tears. She was struggling to speak. Soon, she wouldn't be able to at all.
謝りたかった。
She barely had any voice left, but was persevering nonetheless. This was clearly something she didn't want to leave unsaid, no matter what.
許してもらえないのは分かってる。けど謝りたかった。
And with that, she began full-on crying. I couldn't help doing the same.
たくさんの人を殺しちゃった。幸子、いい子じゃない。褒められちゃいけない子。
The tears were streaming down my face now. Sachiko's voice was so mournful, so genuine.
あなたは今たくさんの人を救ったわ。ありがとう。
A massive earthquake shook the ground. Sachiko looked scared, so I patted her head and hugged her tightly. She then looked me squarely in the eye, gripping her calavera necklace tightly in her hand, as if it were a rosary.
不思議だよ。優しいって分かったらそう怖くない。
Sachiko and the blue light alike both disappeared completely. She was gone. The being I was hugging just moments ago no longer existed. All I could do was clench my fists and mourn. The look on Sachiko's face when she asked if I was scared of dying kept flashing through my head. I kept my head hung low for a moment, then stood up and wiped the tears from my eyes. Accompanying the sound of rumbling, one single entity wall now stood in the real world. The cycle was beginning anew.
見守っていて、篠崎の末裔の私。
All right. Okay, well, that was chapter 7. Okay, from Ikue Otani, voice actress of Sachiko, Yoshie, and Pikachu. I want to take a look and see what her soulful testimony is like. I was a little surprised it wasn't in Book of Shadows when it was released, but oh well.
皆さんお疲れ様でした。幸子とそして幸子の母のよしえをやらせていただきました大谷育恵です。疲れたでしょう。お疲れ様。コープスパーティー、最終幸子編最終章、じゃなくて天神小学校最終章。どうして最終章って普通に言わないんだろう。天神小学校最終章って言ったら違うことが始まるんじゃないのみたいな。もう怖い話もうやめようよ。今回はですね、さっちゃんがなんと前から、このスタッフさんみんなにさっちゃん成仏させようよさせてよなんて話をしたら絶対成仏しませんっていう話を聞いて本当に目の前真っ暗だったんですけど、台本もいただいて晴れて成仏しましたイエーイ。もう戻ってこない。もう黒いさっちゃんにはならないよなんてね。まあほらぶっちゃけお仕事としてはね、まあちょっとこう
どうだろうか、怖いのは苦手なんですけれど、一応いろいろさせていただいたことにはとってもなんかいい経験をさせていただきまして、さっちゃんの悪行を見ながら心も痛かったりしたんですが、やってる時はねとっても楽しかったんですよ。なのでまあね、皆さんにも嫌な思いもさせてしまいましたが、最後にまさっちゃんが言いました。謝りたかったと。本当は謝りたかったね。いい子のさっちゃんで、まあ、とても強いパワーがあったからこんなことになってしまったんですけれど、皆さんも、力の使い方は十分気をつけて、いい世の中にしていきましょう。はい、ということでどうもありがとうございました。お疲れ様でした。
She has such a cute voice. Guess that's why she always does like cute little characters. Alright, well, thank you very much for watching Chapter 7. Do please like, subscribe, and fave for more Corpse Party Blood Drive and other videos.